Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Strife's Sanctum podcast. My name is Citizen Strife, and this week it's back to anime again. Still working through the backlog of winter stuff, but I think I'm at the end of it. And now it's on to spring, at least some of the spring shows. So, let's see, Frieren. Shorter season than the last one, because that one was 28 episodes, is 10, but it's Frieren. It's awesome. More Northern Plateau stuff, and they stab things, and they just go on adventures, and Frieren gets in trouble because she gets stupid grimoires for stupid reasons. So, yes, if you've seen Frieren, do you need any reason to see Frieren any more than you already have to? No, it is always awesome. So, yeah. Alright, Trigun Stargaze finished up, and I think I watched it, and the last one, I don't know. Maybe it was in the last episode. I have to admit, the last episode was kind of goofy. And yeah, spoiler warning if you've seen it, haven't seen it, anyway. But yes, Trigun Stargaze finished up with Knives throwing a fit and wanting to send people to shit and take all the plants and turn them into independents, but the plants didn't want it. So Vash said, no, I'm going to sacrifice myself. And then Knives is like, no, I'll sacrifice myself. And then they go back and forth, and they keep saying they'll sacrifice themselves. And then Vash gets black hair, which was sort of explained that he doesn't have powers anymore. And it's like, okay. It was just goofy. Like, Trigun was, like, sort of sci-fi-ish, but by and large had a lot of, like, down-grounded, like, action and stuff, and there is still a lot of it, but man, they do a lot of weird sci-fi shit with this new setup, and Orange, gets away with it because they're very good, studio for that sort of thing, but man, I can't follow that last sequence for the life of me, and it really kind of like, the last 4 or 5 episodes didn't really go anywhere, and it drove me up a wall because I did like the first season, Trigun Stampede, but Stargaze just, it just really kind of soured me on the whole thing, and I don't know if I'm alone. Hell's Paradise, it's not done yet. Big old punch-up fights and lots of stuff still happening, so people are doing punch-up stuff, and they're still doing it. I don't hate it, but goddammit, I want them to get done with it so I can talk about it in whole. Sentenced to be a Hero. Took a couple weeks for the final episode to get going. Final episode of this season, I'm assuming, is about Kivia, actually. And holy shit, does, you get some cool stuff early, but Kivia outs someone as a helper of the fairies, right? And a coexister. And her reaction to these things are about as well as you'd expect, cutting a person's hand off and then stabbing them, and then turning herself into a hero. Nice. This show ended the way it started. Gloriously dumb, very dark, and lots of blood. And I'm happy. So I'm very happy about that. That one I did. Polar Opposites. You and I are polar opposites. I'm going to do this and then Ramparts of Ice together because Ramparts of Ice is in the new season. But let me just say, You and I are polar opposites is one of those things where I'm glad that they give Suzuki time to just not be on screen, because as great as she is, as I've said over and over, she takes all the oxygen in the room, and you can't breathe. And it's done very well, but my God, is it insane. And not in the fully insane for insane's sake kind of way, not in the dun-to-dun, like, we've got a good rom-comedy, but we've got all this weird alien shit that we're doing kind of way. It's just the dialogue is, like, frantic in a very weird comedy kind of way for an anime, even, but she makes it work primarily. There are other deadpan characters that do make the comedy work, but man, she just owns the scenery, but she owns it too well, and it can just drain the room. Like, it can light up the room if you've waited a while and you like seeing her, but you do need a break. And I do like that even if some of the other couples aren't all that interesting, there's still good stuff to be had with their stuff. And again, I'll contrast this with Ramparts of Ice, which is, pure drama with some deadpan comedy. It's kind of like Hikawa reminds me of Suzuki when she just talks about stuff in her own head, or she shuts up all of her like manic craziness for like half a second, and she just goes all dour and introspective and stuff. That's Hikawa, and I like it because I'm so used to polar opposites that Ramparts of Ice is like a good sea change. Now, on its own merits, it's interesting. Like, I like it, but there are a couple things I wish I liked more. I think Hikawa is interesting in the sense that she's not just complete, like, I'm an ice queen for ice queen's sake, you suck. No, she has, like, uncertainty about being around people, and she has phobias about being around people. And I appreciate the depths that they go to giving her an inner monologue, but also having that translate to trying to talk to people in public, but finding a couple people that she does resonate with. And yet one person in particular annoys the shit out of me, and I get the feeling, and I hate it, that this show is going to try and go down that path, and it's with Minato, because I don't like him. And I know characters are not supposed to be likable, but I don't like him for multiple reasons. They've pretty much admitted that he's just some scrub lord dude who tries to pick up girls who have already been let go, broken up, aren't, sure of themselves. He goes out of his way in a 4-way study group to say, Hikawa, are you single? Like, that wasn't bad enough. Now, it is leading to some interesting things. It's like Hikawa's friend Miki, who's also awesome, is like, I kind of want to talk to you because I kind of have more chemistry with you, but you don't like Hikawa, which I'm kind of hoping that she likes him and she's just trying to get Hikawa out of the way, because Hikawa likes the other dude who's not a complete putz, and it's like they actually like each other and talk to each other and stuff, and then Minato just stares at that and goes, well, yeah, but I should talk to her, because that's important. That's impressive, right? I'm wondering why I don't like her. I'm like, why I like her, but no, he doesn't. I don't like this guy. He's preying on a very not disturbed, but on a disturbed premise that just because a girl is single or a girl has been dumped or something like that, that you can swoop in and, like, what is it, easy conquest? Like, what is his goal? I don't get it. And it's almost like the show outwardly shows that he's a complete asshole, but they do it like subtly enough that you sometimes forget that he's that way, and you're just like, I know he's an asshole, but I still want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And nope, never mind. He keeps talking, and it's fucking dumb. Like, he's coming off as a bit of a stalker, not in the Clear Moonlit Dusk kind of way, where like Kohaku liked Yoi and they actually hit it off and had good chemistry despite him not really knowing how to deal with it and how to say it. Minato is preying on Hikawa outwardly, and whether he's doing it, whether he's intentional about it, whether he's just like, it's not even that Hikawa likes her at all. I mean, she knows him, but it's not like there's no fucking chemistry at all. And I'm kind of annoyed that this show is even going that route, because I know that like Miki and Minato would work better, Hikawa and Giraffe would work better, because they already do. So it's like, go for those. They're less interesting and combative relationships, but then you don't have to focus on Minato being a fucking putz. So, maybe it's something where they're just kind of lulling me into a false sense of security because it's only like 2 or 3 episodes in, right? And I'm kind of hoping that by the end you either make Minato sort of likable somehow, sort of redeemable, or you give it like time and they actually build chemistry, because sometimes that does happen, but at time of recording, god no, they do not fit each other at all, and it's kind of sucking the life out of that show. But anyway, it's polar opposites done more dramatic, and I like. Let's see, polar opposites. Yeah, okay, kind of did that. Finished that. Adventures Daily Grind at age 29. Beat it. It's a junk food show. It's got some goofy stuff and, one awesome scene in it. But it's junk food adventurer slop. So, fair enough. In the clear moonlit dusk, as I was saying, I was a bit worried that they were going to do the forced drama bullshit, and they almost fucked it all up, but they did kind of redeem it at the end. Like in the last scene, they were just like, no, we actually do like each other and want to be like each other. And the way that Kohaku just finds a way to just repair the relationship after the first half of the episode and the fight is just hilarious. He basically just buys himself forgiveness with food rather than he actually does forgive it, but it's like the icebreaker to do that was just, I'm going to buy a bunch of fucking junk food and she's going to love it. And she did. But her reaction was hilarious and it was just great. And I'm kind of glad that they do I wish they hadn't have done the forced love triangle bullshit because I knew how it was going to end anyway. But it's kind of the same way Love Through a Prism was kind of like, were you really going here? We didn't have to. It's kind of an awkward, like, forced narrative. It's just one of those. Like, both shows do the forced love triangle, and it doesn't, like, pan out in either direction because it stays very... I've seen, like, 3 or 4 manga or anime that go against the grain and pick somebody else. Like, who the final love interest is, so it's just okay, we're killing time, I guess. Yeah, but that's it for winter, and I've talked about Ramparts of Ice already, so let's get to Classroom of the Elite, 4th season, so 2nd year, 1st semester. They dumped like 4 episodes of the show at once, and I felt bad because this is not the kind of show I like to binge watch. This is one of those that like I get like 1 episode and I get my fill. It's good, but it's a lot of talking about this means to do this, and if you do this, then this scheme will work, and then this scheme will work in this way, and then you do this. Like, you do a lot of scheming and you do a lot of interacting. But Ayana Koji is such a, like, uninteresting, I'm super fucking smart at everything, but I have a stupid look on my face every fucking second just to show off that I don't want anybody to see me. And even the girl like calls him out on it, and she's like, I want you to drop this facade and actually prove that you're fucking amazing, okay? Be the fucking asshole outwardly. And it would be nice, because he's just the scheming asshole that wins everything. And it's just kind of uninteresting. So it's the kind of show I like, but it's also kind of just, I don't want to binge it. So binge watching it does not interest me at all. One I can binge watch and have no trouble with is Dorohedoro Season 2. Tons of episodes I didn't even get to Season 2 early, and now I did, and I'm caught up, and it's fucking madness. I forget if I've talked about Dorohedoro at all. I'm pretty sure I talked about the first couple episodes, and now that I've continued to keep watching it, the best way I would describe it to people who've never seen it is basically like take the setting of Super Mario Brothers 1993 through a filter of anime madness and dark as shit. and it's still comedic. It's great because I can't tell you, like, the visual spectacle of it alone is lovely, but it does not take itself seriously at all. The main villain doesn't even feel like a main villain half the time. He just sounds like some guy who invents weird mushroom shit. So it's like, what are we doing? Who are we fighting? Why are we doing this? What does it matter? Doesn't matter at all. Who fucking cares? You know, so you do these like side stories with these characters and you're like, they're not really evil. They just live their lives and they do stuff and they do crazy shit. And here's another set of characters like the professor guy who grew up and then suddenly de-aged for some reason. Let's talk about his side story and how kid he knew fell into some pit and nearly died and whatever, and then died anyway. You know, because Dorohedoro, none of it makes any sense. It doesn't fucking matter. But the characters are fun and it's cool, and it's like, oh, I get to see a lot of crazy fucking sorcery and weird bullshit. It's lovely. You need shows like this that change the dynamic of what is like normal, because when everything is so fucked up that the next new thing is just like, yeah, it sounds about right, it's like everything else is just, this is the new normal and it's fun, because it doesn't take itself seriously. Beginning after the end, season 2, this is a junk food show. It's just kind of there. Dude goes with the assassin lady to go adventuring and training, and he fights a spider thing and saves a village. There's not much to the show. I mean, it's fine, but that's all it really is. I liked it enough in the first season, but like trying to describe it back again, it's kind of like, I mean, it's there. It's not amazing, so I'm just gonna move on. Did Ramparts of Ice already. Agents of the Four Seasons, Dance of Spring. I have high hopes for this. It is not my favorite, but it's definitely gonna be up there. The first episode was cool. The premise is that every season is manifested by, I want to say, a human character, and they have like different mindsets and beliefs. Really, we only get to know Spring because she takes herself to and her charge to this city that has not dealt with spring in over a decade. This girl is dealing with a family and digging graves and trying to protect them, but is kind of sick of the winter. She just kind of explodes at this girl, and she dances, and it's kind of like, if you've ever seen the Apothecary Diaries when they do the dances in those shows, it kind of reminded me of those. And like the story of the girl and her family not knowing how to deal with spring, and you know, trying to at least keep the graves tidy amidst the snow, is kind of just, it didn't like full on tearjerker, but it was enough to be like, oh, this has something going for it. And I kind of felt like I knew I was going to like it early, but once the episode really got going, I'm like, yeah, this is going to be one of the top 3 or 4 in it. And again, I do try to say top 4 new shows or non-sequels, because even if I don't really like a show compared to some others, if it's a sequel show, I tend to give that precedence. Which is why I'm waiting for Ascendance of a Bookworm to get dubbed already. Hopefully it debuts this weekend, so I can get going. Demons of a Shadow Realm. I think I talked about the first episode, give or take. I like it. It's weird, and I like that it's not afraid of doing some darker shit. And again, it's Fullmetal Alchemist's writer and creator, so of course it is. Of course it isn't. I do like that they've subverted expectations, and they didn't wait to just drop the bombshell of like, no, I'm the real daughter, or I'm the real sister, and it's a fake sister lady already. But what I'm wondering is like, why are you on the opposite side of the? Why am I with this group? Shouldn't I have been gathered by you guys? So it's like, which group is which? Like, shouldn't shouldn't the two brother and sisters be together in the same group now that they realized it? It's like, who's on whose side? Like, that part I still haven't gotten to, and I'm kind of glad that they haven't. Like, the fact that you have this weird, closed off rural Japanese place sitting above basically Tokyo, for all intents and purposes, is kind of like, oh, it's modern day stuff. It's interesting. Like, I'm interested to see how the Full Metal Alchemist stuff deals with modern day setting, because I would have liked the feudal Japan, but I also kind of like, oh, this is a unique way of going about the feudal Japan sort of whatever mistake. It's not feudal Japan, it's normal life. So how does that fit in? I also like that the main dude is not some complete moron. He can shoot arrows pretty competently. He can track and hunt, and that's good. So it's like that. And then you have Gabby, who sends her fucking tooth monster at people. Gobble, gobble. It's great. You know, I'm really hoping that this has some good stuff to it. Kill Blue. Speaking of stuff I wish was good, it's not really good. It's in the junk food slot alongside beginning after the end. Sakamoto Days if he de-aged into Conan from Case Closed. And that sucks because I like older dudes being main characters because we get so many of the teenagers as main characters that I'm like, could you have been the old dude? Like, Sakamoto Days exists. You can just be a ripoff of Sakamoto Days and be good at it. But no, they basically take the premise of Sakamoto Days and Spider-Man, put it in a blender, give you a little bit of the Jimmy Kudo turns into Conan, and you're just like, that's your lot. Like, okay. I mean, it's got some good qualities, but it's not really great. I think following this older guy who's a bit of a deadbeat would have been an interesting way of going about a show, because Sakamoto doesn't really strike me as a deadbeat, you know. But I guess a show trying to be Sakamoto Days and failing would have been just as bad. So I don't know. It's like, I don't need a fake teenage assassin because he's actually an old dude. I saw that once in a show, and I don't think it's gonna go there. But what was it? It was a dude gets reincarnated, and like this old assassin guy from the old, like the modern world gets reincarnated as a prince or some assassin in the new world, and he basically, like, by the third or fourth episode, grooms all of the 4 or 5 girls he knows in the party. I forget the name of it. All I know is I saw that scene and I'm like, I'm disavowing all knowledge that this show exists. I don't think Kill Blue is going to be that fucking chintzy and sad and pathetic. But I also don't have, like, high hopes for this. This is going to be like, give it an episode or two and see if more interesting characters show up, because I don't really like the main dude as a teenager. It's just kind of... lots of stuff that hasn't debuted yet because it hasn't dubbed yet. It's really annoying. Witch Hat Atelier. Or Atelier, sorry, I don't know why I call it Atelier. Witch Hat Atelier. Best show of the season, and it's not even close. As good as 4 Agents is, as cool as Demons Shadow Realm is, I immediately, in the second episode, speaking of tears, I was emotionally moved by the second or third episode of this, when Coco's in that test that, she's not supposed to do, but a god puts her in anyway, so she does it. But you see, like, Coco's motivations for doing what she's doing as a witch and as an apprentice. Just the visual style of her flying around, but also having time to just be like reminiscing about her mother and what is going on. And I'm just, Jesus, this is so affecting. Just a mix of, like, the visuals, the animation, the story, and the kind of the stakes involved, and the music adds to it as well. Like, everything about the show screams really freaking good, because there was some good stuff in the last season, but outside of, say, Frieren, nothing was like top tier elite shit. But this is going to be one of those things that I think, unless it really completely bombs, I think is going to be one of those, like, I hate giving a number scale, but like, say if Frieren is a 10, this would be like a 9, right? This is like, I could see this being someone's favorite show, even if it's probably not going to end up being one for me. But if it's consistently good all the way through, it'll be like Violet Evergarden, where it's just like, I'll probably put it at a 10 anyway, just because it's so affecting and so good. So there's a lot of good stuff this season, and there's a lot of stuff that hasn't shown up yet. I mean, there was a show I dumped, which once you hear the name of it, you'll probably understand why. I mean, I dumped Snowball Earth in the last episode because I just wasn't into that. But realistically, I was not expecting another show this quick. An observation log of my fiance who calls herself a villainess, and I was like, yeah, this is probably gonna suck. I hate villainess shows. I don't think I've seen one good one. I know that they've been around for like half a decade. I don't care. I have yet to see one that isn't a chintzy piece of crap. And sure enough, I got like 30 seconds to a minute into this, and I'm like, no, I've got other things to do, like recording this podcast. So I'd rather do that instead. So yeah, I'd rather just record my podcast about a show that I dumped instead of watching it. Anyway, but there's a lot of stuff from last season that I liked, and this one is actually doing a pretty good job of holding serve as well. I've had a lot of good seasons lately, and it's been nice. But that'll do for this episode in this rundown. Let's see what I've got here. Let's do the dang. Yeah, back over here. Okay, so I did the episode on East Origin. So next week I'm going to record an episode about Be the Beginning, a show I rewatched recently. I liked it good enough. I think I ducked out of the second season a little early, but I got enough of it, and I was like, yeah, this show's good, but I can move on. Let's see, Mega Man 5, Mega Man X5, do those. And then if Lee and I are able to do it, Apothecary Diaries, and then Breath of Fire 3, the story of above average at everything. And that's pretty good, because I want to talk about Breath of Fire 3, because it's amazing. I like doing editorial stuff instead of like pure on reviews every once in a while. But hey, that'll do for today. I will see you next time. Citizen Strife, signing off.